Welcome back, everyone. In the last video, we covered the core concepts and terminology of AOP. Aspect, join point, advice, point cut, weaving, all of it. Now in this video, before we jump into the implementation, there is one more important thing to understand. Which frameworks and tools actually support AOP? Because AOP is not something unique to Spring. It is a broader programming concept, and multiple frameworks implement it in their own way. Understanding the available options will help you make better decisions when working on real projects. So let's go through them one by one. Alright, let's start with the first and most commonly used AOP framework in the Java ecosystem. Spring AOP. Now, if you want to use Spring AOP in your project, you need to add one dependency, Spring Boot Starter AOP, inside your pom.xml. Spring AOP works through proxies. When a Spring bean is created, Spring does not give you the actual object directly. Instead, it wraps that object in a proxy. Two types of proxies. JDK Dynamic Proxy, used when your bean implements an interface. CGLIB Proxy, used when your bean is a plain class with no interface. Every method call goes through this proxy first. The proxy intercepts the call, injects your advice, and then delegates to the real object. And the beauty of it, your service class has zero changes. You simply annotate a separate class with an aspect and a component, define a point cut expression, and add your at before, at after, or at around advice. That is it. But here is something very important. Spring AOP has one key limitation you must know about. Spring AOP only intercepts Spring managed beans. And it only works at the method level. And there is one specific problem called the self-invocation problem. If method A calls method B inside the same class, the proxy is completely bypassed. Because the call goes directly to the real object, not through the proxy. So your advice will not run for method B in this case. This is a very common mistake. And it catches a lot of developers off guard. Alright, now let's talk about the second option. AspectJ. To use AspectJ in your project, you need to add two dependencies. First, AspectJRT, which is the runtime library. It contains the core classes required to run AspectJ aspects. Second, AspectJ Weaver, which is responsible for weaving. It actually applies your aspects to the target code, either at compile time or load time. Now, AspectJ is a completely different beast compared to Spring AOP. Spring AOP works through proxies at runtime. AspectJ goes much deeper than that. AspectJ uses bytecode weaving. Your aspects get woven directly into the compiled class files, not through a proxy at runtime. The bytecode of your actual classes is modified to include the aspect logic. And this weaving can happen at two different times. Compile time weaving, using the AJC compiler instead of the standard Java compiler. Your aspects are woven into the bytecode during compilation itself. Load time weaving, using a Java Agent JVM flag. The weaving happens when the classes are loaded into the JVM, before they start executing. Now here is where AspectJ becomes significantly more powerful than Spring AOP. Because it is not proxy-based, it completely solves the self-invocation problem. Method A calling method B inside the same class? AspectJ handles it perfectly. Because the advice is woven directly into the bytecode, not intercepted through a proxy. And AspectJ supports far more join points than Spring AOP. Method execution, just like Spring AOP. Constructor calls, intercept object creation. Field access, intercept when a field is read or written. Static initializers, intercept class initialization. And unlike Spring AOP, AspectJ works on any Java object. Not just Spring managed beans. Alright, now let's answer the most practical question. Which one should you actually use? Let me break it down clearly. Use Spring AOP when you are working with Spring managed beans. You need to intercept method calls only. You want zero extra tooling, no special compiler, no JVM flags. Your use cases are everyday application level concerns like logging, security, caching, and transaction management. Spring AOP covers 90% of real-world use cases. And it does so with minimal setup and maximum simplicity. For most enterprise Spring Boot applications, Spring AOP is all you will ever need. Use AspectJ when you hit the ceilings of Spring AOP. You are dealing with the self-invocation problem, method A calling method B inside the same class. You need to intercept constructors, field access, or static initializers, not just methods. You need to apply AOP to non-Spring objects, plain Java objects outside the Spring container. You are building framework-level AOP, deep infrastructure concerns that require bytecode-level control. The rule is simple. Start with Spring AOP. It is simple, powerful, and covers almost everything. Only switch to AspectJ when Spring AOP genuinely cannot solve your problem. Don't over-engineer. Choose the right tool for the right job. Alright, enough theory. Now let's get our hands on the code. Let's create a fresh Spring Boot project. Open Spring Initializer at start.spring.io. Choose Maven for project build, Java as the language, and always go with the latest stable Spring Boot version. Next, fill in your project details. Set the group. Give your artifact name. And choose the Java version based on what you have installed on your system. Now let's add the dependencies. I am adding 2 for now. Spring Web, for building REST APIs. Lombok, to reduce boilerplate code. Now, you might notice that Spring AOP is not available as a separate dependency in Spring Initializer. That is completely fine and expected. Go ahead and click Generate, download the project, and open it in IntelliJ IDEA. Renaming application.properties to application.yml. You'll notice the pom.xml has many default tags. For this example, I'll remove the unnecessary ones and keep only what we actually need. Next, we'll add the Spring AOP dependency in our pom.xml. This will enable us to use aspect-oriented programming features in our Spring application. Alright, now I am going to add a few more dependencies that we have already used in our previous project. I am adding Spring Boot Starter log4j2 for logging configuration. Spring Boot uses logback by default, so we exclude these libraries to prevent conflicts. Next, we add the Jackson Dataformat YAML dependency. This is used to enable YAML file support in our application. Next, we'll copy the log4j.yaml file from our previous project. If you're not sure how to create this file, you can watch our logging video where we explained it step by step. Alright, project setup is complete. Let's do a quick sanity check, run the application and make sure everything starts up cleanly with no errors. Alright, let's clean and build the project. The error says, version is required for the AOP starter. The default version is not being set automatically. This can happen when the project is not inheriting from the Spring Boot parent POM correctly, so the dependency management is not picking up the version automatically. No problem, easy fix. Let's go to Maven repository. Search for Spring Boot Starter AOP. And copy the dependency with the correct version. Follow my screen. Alright, let's start the application. The application is running. All dependencies are resolved. Spring AOP is on the class path and ready to go. Our project setup is now fully complete. Now, in the next video, we are going to get into the real implementation. We will write our first actual aspect in Spring Boot. And that brings us to the end of this video. If you found this helpful, please like this video. It genuinely helps the channel grow and motivates me to keep creating quality content for you. If you have any questions or doubts, drop them in the comments below. I read every single comment and I will make sure to help you out. And if you are not subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you never miss an upload. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.